Hey guys, welcome to JTV Extra. I'm Sandra Younger, and we have a fantastic show for you today. We're going to be making this a Briolette, or is it? I actually don't know how to say that. Is it Briolette or Briolette? There's a question for you guys, so let me know in the comments because honestly, I have no idea. I've heard it pronounced actually both ways, but if this is your first time on this show, welcome, 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 and you can ask questions and leave comments down below. And if you like something that you hear, you can hit the heart button. And the way you shop this show is you just like any of the items on the right-hand side of your screen, you can click on them for more detail, add it to your cart, and check out at the end of the show. And if you are not familiar with a Brilliant Cash, let me tell you a little bit about Brilliant Cash. So this is how it works. If you have never purchased anything at the JTV site, and I don't know if this works for phone orders as well. I need to find that out. But if you go to their website and you buy anything, you get a $40 credit towards your next purchase. I mean, guys, that is like 4 $10 bills, 2 $20 bills, $41 bills. I mean, that $40, that's like half off of a Knotty-Do-It-All. I mean, if you think about it, on your birthday, $20. The anniversary of your first purchase, you get $20. The Sparkle Ambassador Refer a Friend, $25. That means you get $25, your friend gets $25. 1% back on all purchases, and returning customers after 365 days, you get $30. I mean, so if your birthday just recently passed, or it's the anniversary of your first purchase, definitely check out your account to see if you've got anything in there. So maybe you could buy like something on today's show that might catch your eye. So with that said, let's talk about. We've got a lot of like stuff on today's. So let me get to our like product show. Oh, we've got a bunch of goodies today, guys. Oh my goodness! And first, my favorite tool of all time, the Knotty-Do-It-All. And if you don't have one of these, well, I will tell you, it is a fantastic cord knotting and design tool. And the neat thing about this is it has hardware that you can reconfigure in so many different ways. And as you can see, we have our big board and our small board, and I will talk more about those throughout the show. And you do get a password for Knotty Lessons. It is on my website, and I've got so many lessons. And, you could also look at some of the JTV extra shows. There, I have the links to all the shows that I've done in the past year, and you can. I think some of them are hosted on Facebook, but I try to keep the links as current as possible. But there's just a lot. There's just so much, so many different techniques that I teach. And let's see. Ooh, the next thing. I want to talk about Eslon, because if you don't have Eslon, or if you've never used it, this is definitely, if I could say that there's one stringing material that's definitely like all-purpose, it would be like Eslon. And this color today that I'll be using, this is a milk chocolate, and it's about 0.5 millimeter thick, and it's polyester, so it's a synthetic, which means you can melt it. I mean, this cord can be waxed. I mean, and it's incredible, like for braiding, knotting, bead crochet, micro macrame, and just so much more. The necklace on the right-hand side there, that is crocheted, and this cord is just like, it's great for crochet. And on the left side there, I used it to do some knotting with it. But Eslon, if you don't have any, then you need to definitely get a spool just to try it out, because it's just amazing. You're going to want every color. And let's see, what do we have next? Ooh, the Larkovite and the electroformed beads. Okay, I really wanted to use these for a project today, but I had to pick something. But this set, okay, these are sold individually. So you get the 8 millimeter, and I have the whole size listed. So the whole size is pretty big. And let's see, there's the 8 millimeter round, the 10 millimeter round, and then the last one, it's a rondelle, and that one is 8 millimeter by 4 millimeter. I don't have the 4 millimeter there, but that's how big it is. And the hole on that particular strand is 2.25. And I was thinking, if I were to like pair it up with a color, I think I'd probably pick like red, because I think that would look really pretty, like a macrame, or maybe even like a snake knot bracelet, along the lines of what Sarah made last week. These are perfect for that. Let's see, The lightweight electroform tube. The interesting thing about these is that they're lightweight, but they look like metal because they're electroform. So that means it's like a metal coating over like a plastic, which is nice, which makes them, you know, not so heavy, especially if you're going to use a whole bunch of them. You get 500 of these, and the size is 8 by 9, and I measured the hole. And it's right at 3 point. It's a little bit over 3.75 millimeters. So it's got a very, very generous hole size. So that's a JLW 12112. So the electroformed tubes. I really wanted to use these today also, but you know what? I had to pick something. And let's see, what did I pick? I picked those beads on the bottom right-hand side, which are the Black Aurora Borealis Briolette. And I picked the Briolette because I hardly ever work with them, and I really wanted to run it through its paces, and you'll see some of the interesting things that I found out when I was working with these. And these are, they're almost the same height. You can see the ones that are wider are just a half a millimeter taller than the other ones. So one of them is like thinner, the other one's a little bit like thicker around the edge, but they're both almost the same same height. So you can see in the middle there the difference. You know, they're just just a different shape, which is nice because that way it gives just a little bit of a different aesthetic, like for the necklace that we're going to be making today. So these are and one cool thing, they're side drilled, because some of them, some briolettes like this are like drilled like through the middle. You know what? I don't know if that's what makes it the briolette. I think maybe it's the cut. And then the last thing that we have, which I really, really like those gray round ones, but I didn't use them, but I will. This is the Picasso Onyx Marble. And it's interesting, black web calcite. The black web calcite, it's got a really interesting like pattern. It kind of reminded me of planets. In the Picasso Onyx Marble, those, let me see if I can get you a size on those. They're about maybe like, I'm going to say about 16 millimeters. Let me see, let me measure them for you guys. 1 second. Let's see what we got here. I've got my caliper. These are at, 1 second. Ooh, I was wrong. I was way off. Okay, they are 25 millimeters. So they're about an inch tall, and then the width is about 18 millimeters. So they're big. You know, so just think about the size of a quarter. I think quarters are about an inch. Well, anyway, those are all the products that are on today's show. So let's see what, if I missed anything. No, I've got, no, everything. All right, so those are all the products. Yeah, so lots of gray today. And you know, which is, I think it's perfect because fall is coming and winter, and those colors are just like fallish and winterish. And guys, you know what time it is. It's that time. It's my favorite part of the show, which is the customer show. Let's see what we got here. I call it the customer movie. Wait till you see what, Laura Lee, girl, you are just amazing. Christy, she did a wonderful job. So let's take a look at what you guys sent in this week. Unbelievable. Ooh, our first submission is from Christy, Alaska. Guys, look how cool this bracelet is. I love that heart. Oh my goodness. This is like the ladder stitch, and I like the way, you know, I see that macrame in the back, and this, I noticed that this button is a green girl button. They make the best buttons. Very, very nice. And then next, Sarah, North Carolina, red and black. I love red, black, and silver together. And I love that, you know, it's just like little sprigs of red. And I like how you did the macrame on the end of those braids. And I think this is braided with a double cord because I could see how thick it is. Very nice. And then next, okay, we got this whole jolly of bracelets here from Laura Lee. Check these out, guys. Aren't these just beautiful? Oh my goodness, the colors. I would totally wear these, like I would wear them all just like stacked on one arm. And talk about like arm candy. And this is like half knotted, and then the other the silver beads are like strung on. So it's like two techniques in one. And they've got the macrame slide knot with the beads on the end, and the I don't know, that silver one, is that like it looks like that repeat cord, if I'm not mistaken, but very nice. And next we have Christy Laska. This is such a neat like bracelet, like for a guy. I mean, this has got such a like I'm out in the wilderness look to it. Very nice. And I noticed that the button, really cool. That is like a deer antler. I've seen those. So I think this is really cool. And just those beads, they look like they're really old, like ancient beads. And next we have Sarah, North Carolina. This is interesting because the middle of that lighter colored bracelet, that's like a snake knot. I never even thought to do that. Like you have like a snake knot focal. That is too cool. And then the other bracelet with the infinity symbol. Let's see, lots of macrame with the beads on the outside. Very, very nice. And next we have Laura Lee, Florida. Ooh, with these hearts. Hearts are popular this time around. And let's see what we have. You've got the chain and those cute little dangles on the end and these beautiful hearts. Guys, look at this. Incredible. And then here is the silver bracelet modeled. Look how cute that is. Oh, so pretty. And here's a close-up of these like the pearls on one side with those like brass beads on the other side. Really, really nice. And then next we have Christy Alaska. She said that she was out in the wild. And look at this. I've never done like a stitch like that with looming, but with a pattern. I need to try that. And then the bracelet on the left, I love those colors. It looks like a ancient glass on that the one on the left. Really nice. And then next, Laura Lee. Oh, here we go with this cool technique. But this have 3 like graduated beads, like 2 that are the same, and the one in the middle looks like it's a little bit bigger. And guys, look at that cute dangle on the end. That is such a good idea, because I have a lot of those little tiny charms, and sometimes I don't know what to do with them. But that's a perfect idea. And these focals, I believe she said, were green girl. And then next, Christy Alaska. Okay, so this one is really cool because it's braided. Then it's got the deer suede lace, and then the pearls and the other beads on the right side are. It looks to me, Christy, if I'm correct, that they're strung on with beading wire. And then we have another view of this one here. So check it out. I like your macrame binding knots, really nice. And then this looks like it's crocheted or braided. I'm going to say crocheted. Am I correct? I'm thinking crocheted. Let me know if I got it right, if I know the difference between braiding and crochet. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, guys, but I could tell by the back of the beads that the cord isn't crisscrossed, which is a telltale sign of something being braided versus crocheted. But anyway, that is our customer showcase for today. And if you have anything you'd like to send in, you can email me your photos the Tuesday before the show. And my email address is theknotty-do-it-all@gmail.com. So I was right. It was crochet. Because one of the, and let me tell you something, for those of you that do both of the techniques, because what will happen, because it's happened to me so many times because they kind of look a lot alike, is that's the little clue. On the back, a braid will be crisscrossed and a crochet won't. The only time a crochet will be crisscrossed if you add that additional like twist. But oh boy, that's another day. Okay, today I've got a lot of tips and tricks for today's project. And let me, first of all, the tool that I used to do my evenly spacing knots was this tin cup knotter. And it comes in a variety of different colors. You can get it in like the light colored one. This one just happened to be the dark colored one. But I'm going to share with you a couple of tips and tricks I mean, these are things that I do that just like help. It just makes it work for me. And one thing that I do, because this little part right here, when you like screw it down, it kind of, see how this part kind of like pivots forward a little bit. What I do on mine is, and it helps really stabilize it. I mean, it's kind of weird, I know, but I put a dime in there and it just makes it like really like nice and straight, because, you know, I was just having, you know, trouble with the thing just like pivoting, and then that affected like, you know, the distance, and, you know, so it was just, you know, I just wanted this one at 1/2 inch, because 1/2 inch just seemed to be like, you know, a good solid measurement, and that's what I did to stabilize it. And another thing that you can do, I mean, this thing, it's got this mechanism where you like pop it up, but that is if you do not want your hands to touch the cord, because I guess, you know, I don't know what these people were thinking when they invented it, but they said that if you get your greasy hands on the cord, it's supposed to like make the, like denigrate or something, the thread. But you know what? I just use clean hands, and, you know, I don't need to use that part. And so so that's what I'm going to be using. And the one nice thing about it is it's got a really, really sharp point, and the needle is relatively thin, which is extremely important to getting a nice close knot, like up to the bead. I mean, it's probably like the single most important part. But I just want to say hi to Michael, Chatty, Tess, PJ, Beverly, Rhonda. Thanks for, we just had a little chit chat a minute ago. Anissa, Shelly, Robin, and let's see, what does Michael say that it's Briolette? Okay, like Frito-Lay, Briolette. Thank you. And Laura Lee and Lynn, thank you so much for joining the show, guys. I wouldn't have a show without you. So this necklace, oh, I don't even know where to begin. Okay, you know, let's begin with just a stringing on the pattern. It's real simple. You string on, oh, you know what? Let me show you real quick. Okay, I didn't go over this. This is what you're going to need for this project. Okay, you'll need the Briolets, because that's what I use, that package that's a JLW 12980. Okay, so it comes with 2 different sizes. And the numbers that I have here, 11 and 16, those will vary depending on whether you want your necklace a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. So those are just like average numbers. And the button size that I used about a 12 millimeter, because I didn't want anything too big. And I did use Eslon 18 milk chocolate, but that is just what I'm using on this show. But you can experiment with different threads, like maybe the Griffin, maybe the Eslon 400. It just maybe some silk, just whatever you want to like experiment with. And for the button part, because this one I actually made, you know, because I wanted to give it like a slightly like boho vibe. Let me see if I can grab it here, because I've got a lot going on. Okay, let's see. So like right back here, I put a button with a leather thing just to give it, that leather and lace, just, you guys, if you know, you just want it not to be so fancy, like all the way through. And so for that button part, you'll need about 12 inches of leather. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but it's, it's comfortable. And that's what I found that I've needed over the years, just to be able to get it done and have that leverage that you need. And the last thing that you'll need, which, we don't have on the show, I just happen to have them around, are the 3x2 faceted rondelle hematite. And the important thing, you can use like any like smallish bead that you have, but what I really like about these is that it's got that the hole is about 1 1/4. So the interesting about that, if you make a knot with Eslon, it's not going to go over. And also you could feed the Eslon through twice. So if you ever find like any beads that have those characteristics, grab them up, because they are extremely versatile. And so it's real simple. You just like string on, one, it's going to be one, like, let's say gold, Briolette, gold, gold, Briolette, gold, gold. So you're just going to keep going. And one thing that I recommend doing, and I know it's like cringy if you mess up, but always like just take a minute and check the pattern to see if you like messed up. Because it's the worst when you string on all these beads and then like halfway or 3/4 through, you're like, oh, I forgot to put that one bead, because you try to find ways to like either like snap it off, cut it off, or just like cave in and just like restring the whole thing. Because that happened to me yesterday. I was like, ugh. And so, and a couple of tips that I have, especially, I mean, these were pretty forgiving, these briolets, because the holes were big enough. But you will, like if you do like pearls or anything, and I know I've shared this trick with you guys, but see, when the string comes off the cord, it's floppy, number one, and it's like, how long is the cord? Oh, Kim, the good thing is I worked right off the spool. I didn't even like measure it, but I think if you, let's say you had like I'm going to guess like if you had a card of Griffin, like let's say a size 6, that 2 yards will be more than plenty. Because when I'm working and when I'm making something for the first time and I'm not sure like how much cord I need, especially if it's something knotted, you can just work off the spool. So that's one thing I just love about just knotting, either with, if it's the same bead or like a pattern. So tip, floppy end. One thing that I do is, and I know some of you guys know this, but maybe some of you don't, is I heat harden the end. And the way you do, let me like zoom in, and you're not going to get it the first time, because sometimes, even though I've been doing this for a long time, it's sometimes I just like burn through it. But the goal is, because when you the synthetic cords, see how they literally, ouch, when you melt them or put heat to them, they just like, they melt in. It's kind of like it just like goes into itself and it wants to contract. But if you are like pulling this, like not like super tight, just have like tension on the bottom, and you grab a lighter and just quickly like run it through the bottom, what it does is it's not allowing it to like curl in. And so you're basically like, you're stretching. Oh, there, see, perfect right there. I felt it. See this part right here? What just happened is it stretched and it hardened it. And that part's going to be really important in just a second. Because what you do is you let it cool. And then I'm going to just take this off. And I'm going to take see, you can see the stiffness right there. And then what I do is I take a single edge blade, and then I just cut it at an angle. And you will like feel it like snap, like spaghetti, like a stick of spaghetti. And so what you have here is, number one, it's not going to fray, which is fantastic, because you know how many times have you like strung beads on and then the end frays, you got to cut it, and it's just you know, it's not very fun. And it's just got everything going that, you know, a needle like should have. So let's say you want to come in here and, you know, you grab a few beads. See that? It just makes it so much easier. And just put this one on. Whoops. And then the next one. So that way you can, whoops. Let me get rid of some of this stuff here. You could just like grab your cord, and then it's just it just makes it so much nicer. That's it. And the thing is, sometimes I don't know what the factor is, but sometimes it's just hard. You keep trying over and over and you burn through, but when you finally get it right, you just want to string on as many beads as you can, because you know that beautiful, perfect needle, you're going to have to cut it off. So that's, you know, what happens with me sometimes. But so once you get your pattern on, what I did was, mine is, I did the 1/2 inch. So my knotting tool here is, you know, this is spaced 1/2 inch apart. So a couple of ways that you can do this. Let's scoot over here 1 second. And you could do this by putting it in your hand And let me, I like to leave about maybe, let me cut this. I think I put this not too close. About 10 inches or so before I do my first knot. Just like that. And one thing that really, really, really helps is if you're doing it by hand is to like just clip this side into something, because it keeps the cord from being floppy, and the board makes a perfect counterweight. So let's scoot this over. So you could do it this way, slide this over, and you're basically just going to be using this tool as a knotting awl. So you just put this right in here, just like that, and then just tighten. And you could take the next bead, and I'm going to show you another way that's even easier. So you just put this in, pop it up, and you know, there you have this side. And then to space it, you could just you put that part in, put this. So what I do is I put it in that little notch, and I put my thumb in there to hold it. And then see this finger, sometimes, you know, if you, I just hold it just like boom. And then I just put my finger on the side just so that the thread doesn't pop off, and then there, it's done. And then you have your like spaced. Because I can't use that mechanism because I had surgery on my thumb. I just cannot do it. And I'm sure, you know, a lot of you guys that like have arthritis or whatever, that this mechanism, and plus I find it to be like kind of scary, like, so I just like to do it by hand. So I'm just going to come in here, make a knot, and then you just kind of like repeat the steps, and you just kind of pull that and put your finger right in there, and then just push it. But I'm going to show you the other way that I do this, and you just keep repeating until you've done, let's say, like 16 or 17, because let me tell you guys, this necklace, it's a two-tiered, and you have to be so vigilant, like when you're making it. And I'm going to tell you what happened to me. I thought, okay, I'm going to get this. I got this. I made the necklace, and when I put it on, you know, it was too close together, and I told myself, okay, what am I going to do? Okay, so the plan was to string one more of these guys on the bottom strand to make it just a little bit longer, because let me tell you, it doesn't take much to like make it a little bit longer to make it just right. But you know what happened? I made the entire necklace, and I forgot to put that last bead on, so it ended up being too close together. And I was like, I did all this work, and I thought to myself, there is no way I'm gonna let this go. So I'm gonna show you in just a second, after I knot a few beads, the cool trick that I did or used to fix the problem. Some of you may have already seen it, but you know, if you haven't, I will like tell you in just a second. So this is like what you could do if you want to just do it by hand. And if you want to do like plan B, you can get one of these guys. I got mine at, I don't know, Harbor Freight or something. And you can put your this thing in here to hold it for you. So that way, you know, you can actually, you know, with this, man, believe it or not, this is crazy. Crazy. When I had surgery on my hand, I was like desperate. So I'm going to make jewelry one way or the other. I was actually able to do knotted necklaces with one hand. One hand, guys, with using this thing here. So I just basically have the this thing like clamped into, I don't know, what are these things called? You guys help me out. Can you help me? It's called a clamp, a vise. Yeah. And so this way, what I have over here is, you know, I have this like connected to the board. So, oh, you're going to love this. And this makes it so much faster because see this? So let me get this focused right there. So mind you, that little bracket's here, the needle's here. So what you do is you just come in here and you just hold the knot right at the stop and then tighten, and then you do the next one. So you slide this down just like that. And one nice thing about this is it's got that extremely, extremely sharp needle. So what that means for you is that if you pull this, that knot is going to be like super like close and tight. And that's the goal. When you're making a necklace like this, I mean, getting that second knot nice and tight so there's no like space is like the key. So I'll just do this a couple of more times. And mind you, let me, whoops. See how I'm using this as, and this is probably like the most like important part is like having your cord like clipped. So it's not floppy, you know? So you come in here, another thing you could do is anchor it, flip it, and then just put it in here and then pull. See how easy that is? And then you slide your next one down. This is definitely my preferred way to do this. So there we go. You slide this down and move it. So there you go. Isn't that like so cool? Check it out. So you just keep going. And one nice thing about you know, this knotting tool, it's got that stopper, which is, oh, I love it. So this, so your spacing, it just takes the guesswork out of it. You don't even have to look. I mean, you could be watching TV and do your knotting because you know it's going to come out perfect because it's got that little like stopping mechanism. So once you've gotten to where you have like all your, like, let's say, beads done, we're going to get to the next part. Okay, so let's put this aside. And if you don't have one of these knotters, there are a couple of things that are kind of like finicky about them, but the dime thing makes it work. So that's one thing that I like. But okay, back to these Briolets because I want to. Okay, I've got them here, my knotted ones. So let's just say we did it. Okay, we got our 2 strands. And like I said, one of them, you've got to keep on like trying it on, just to make sure that when you hold them, they are like the right distance. Okay, however, one thing that drove me nuts, and I know you guys have had the same problem, is when it comes to the beads right over here, they kind of like overlap and stack on each other. And it's just kind of, I don't know, there's just something kind of like annoying about it. So the idea was to give it a little bit of separation. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that I did. Or, you know, yeah, specifically for this one. So what I did was on the shorter strand, let's see, I did, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I knotted 7 beads, just like bead, knot, bead, knot. And what that did was, because if I were to have this over here, see, that's the problem. And I know that some of you guys have probably seen that where like at the end you've got like 2 round beads and they're like right on top of each other, and it kind of does this and it's just really awkward. So the idea is to like have it like tapered off. So that's the purpose. That's why I put these beads right in here. Was, whoa, is it not focusing? Was to like, when I, does that, are you guys following? Am I making sense? So see that, see that here? This was the plan. I did my 1/2 inch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I knotted these guys here. And then, you know, like I mentioned before, that this rondelle, you could feed the Eslon through twice and see. So when I pull both strings, there's a separation, and this bead right here is not overlapping on one of these. Is this am I making sense? Let me look at the comments, because I just want to make sure that that you guys, like, if I need to explain anything, can you like let me know, because I just want to make sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Tess Barr says it makes sense, so it makes sense. Hi, Tess. Thank you. Okay. So the next thing, let me get my bearings straight. Okay, so this necklace here, this is an exact replica of this one, except except with that problem where I missed that one bead. So you slide that bead on, and then what you do right in here, just get them real close together, just like this. And what I highly recommend is getting a knotting awl and making just nice and sharp, just like that. And the best that you can, get both of these together and just hold them nice and tight and make an overhand knot right in there. And when you do that, make sure that there is, what you need to look out for is, see that gap right there? You want to get everything closed. And then you want to come in and pull. And see, that's the nice thing about the polyester cord, because if I had done what I just did with like silk, it would have broken. Okay, so then you come in and do the same thing on the other side. And it'll be probably for another show, but I've got some really cool variations. So here we go, and then you're going to do the same thing on this side. Overhand knot. And I guess the important part is just try not to like get these. See that? Perfect. Right there. And then you pull, 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 pull. Oh, perfect. Because the thing is, I want to show you this so badly. Okay. What you need to look out for, this knot, which is the last knot that you made, and then the last knot that you made on the other strand, they need to be like literally like touching this guy here. Because the funny thing about like necklaces like this, it takes so little for the whole like distance thing to get like completely off. I don't understand it. I mean, sometimes even like a quarter of an inch or like half an inch makes a huge difference. So let's see what we have now. Okay, perfect. So here, let me zoom out here, because I want to show you. I hope I don't have too much going on. I shouldn't have worn a necklace today. See, so when I finish it, see how it's going, the spacing is good. But let me tell you what happened on this one. The spacing was not good. So it was too long. So what I did, okay, this is really cool. This is the tip. And then I'll like get on to how I finish this. Okay. See that right there? What I did was on the very end, right on both sides, and I'll do it right now so you can like see. I had to take a leadered needle. Let's grab one. And if you are not familiar with these guys, oof, boy, they can really save the day, because they make stringing like everything just so much easier. So, whoops, wait a minute. You need to put that on first. And I mean, it looks a little bit awkward, and I'll tell you why I think it looks awkward. But, you know, I figured if this necklace is for me, I don't care, because I wasn't going to like cut it up or throw it out over something that I thought I could fix. So I put the leadered needle in there, just like that. And I'm going to pull you want this knot to not be in like the bend right there. I'm going to keep moving it over. So let's do that. All right, so what I did, guys, is I took a couple of my those rondelles. Let me grab them. Check it out. So I put this in. I popped this on. And I centered it just like that. Is this not focused? And I just, see how I pulled it through just like that? And then what it did was it made like a loop, like right down in here. Is this like, see that? So I had to cut this off. And what I did was I fed in a wire wrap bead, but I could have also put in like a little, like another piece of cord and then just knotted it. But even though it, you know, it's a little tiny thing and you do it on both sides, it literally saved the necklace. And not only that, one thing it made me realize is it could also be like an element in the design. So let's say if you're using, like, I don't know, I got to work on that one. That's one thing. I did try a bunch of like different things, but this little tiny thing just made it short. It gave it the distance that I needed reduced on both sides, which made the length of the necklace perfect. And I'll show you. Let me get this off, and so that way I could like show you what the difference is. I'm going to do like a before and after. This is really interesting. I just love it. It's just so little. Okay, so let me get this off. Let's get the necklace. All right, let's go back here. You know, let me take this one off because I think it's kind of like in the way of my explanation of my brilliant. I think I just want to show off, because I think I was like thinking, and my brain was like, I can't believe I just did that. But okay, so this is before. I mean, this is after, because I'm going to show you the before. So see the spacing is like, it's like nice. It looks good. It's not too close together. So I'm going to take this thing that I did off, and then I'm going to show you like how close and what a huge difference it made. So let's get this off. Okay, that's side 1 and then side 2. How many of you guys have kids that are like going back to school, or have they gone back to school, or are you still waiting? I know school's going to be starting pretty soon, because we have a school like right across the street from here, and it gets very noisy. Okay, see the difference? Look at that. Too close. I thought, you know, I just thought that is like, I don't like the way they see that? It's like almost touching, but that little tiny thing. Let's see, would have a closer look at your necklace. Oh, that necklace. Oh, sure. We'll just like sideline a bit. This one is one that I did with a chain, and I just, I don't know, I was into wire wrapping during the pandemic. So I just decided to do some like wire wrap stuff. This one actually doesn't have any cord on it. And that it's just real like basic wire wrap, nothing. This was quick and easy. So the, what I did on the end of the necklace, let's go back to that. So I wanted to give it this. Yeah, this is really like cool. So let's see what we have. Whoop, boo, boo. So on one side, I did a button. And on the other side, I macrameed on a ring. So a button and a ring go next. So let's do that. And just, I don't know, just ignore my project here because I'm working on this bracelet. You know what? Let me take this off. This I made with the Larkavite that's on today's show. But you know what, guys? I could only use like one or the other. So that's the one I picked. Okay, so let me pick a... Let's see, a ring. And the nice thing about this project, it doesn't require a whole lot. Where's my button? There it is. It doesn't require a whole lot of like stuff. Let me grab a ring here. And let's do this. And I have this new thing. Oh, where is it? I lost it. It's my table over there, but you know what I did? I got my some like glue. You could use like Mod Podge or whatever, and I put it in like an empty like nail polish bottle that you could buy like at any craft store, and it makes like getting the glue on the ends like a lot easier. So that was I'll share that with you like the next show. So for the button, so what I did is I put it in this way. See that? And then what I do is I come back over. I go in back through this way and then back through this way. And a couple of tips for those of you that, don't know. One thing that I do on one of my clips is I bend this part back a little bit because it helps open up the jaw wider. So that way if you're using a button that doesn't quite fit one of these clips, you could just open it up and like stick it in there. And this button is about a 12 millimeter. So what I do is I come back and you know what, I did measure it. What was it? I think I used a caliper. Yeah, where is my caliper? I don't know where it went, guys, but I did like space it, but I'm going to just like fake it for now, but I did it about 1/2 inch. So I clipped a one end, which I have clipped here. You know what, let me zoom out a little bit. Right there. So this part's clipped in. See, I've got that nice spacing right in here. So I'm just gonna like come in and like one way or another clip this part here. And sometimes you'll need to add like an extra bit of string, but not a big deal. And sometimes, not always, I will macrame using these strings here. But number one, since it's thin thread and I don't want to mess up the distance because the length, the distance is very important. What I'll do is instead, I will just grab another like piece of the S-Lon. And then I'll start doing the macrame. So because I just don't want it like disturbed. Because if you know, you know. So sometimes it's just easier to come back in with a separate strand and do your macrame. So I'm going to macrame the this button. So this would be a macrame binding knot. And normally I would recommend like waxed cord, but for this one I'm going to be using this glue, which it's kind of like it's like a sealing glue. And what I like about it is that it sticks fast. So I'm just going to blow on here. That's the top, and now I'm going to do the bottom, top, and then you just keep going till you get to the top of your bead. And this stuff is fantastic, guys. It's perfect for like the S-Lon. It's my favorite. That and actually the GS Hypo Cement. I take that back. I really do like GS Hypo Cement, but you know, we have an ongoing like dominance Ay, ay, ay. Because you know that little thing, it's really hard to like get that little needle in there, and you know it scares me because you know sometimes I think I'm gonna miss it. So what I do here, which is really important, if I do that, the sealer, I let it dry and I don't melt the ends because you know sometimes, not always, those melt ends are you don't want them, especially if you're using like a lighter colored cord like white, light beige, light gray, or sometimes even red, because when you melt them, it leaves those black melt spots. So if you're using like an Eslon that you don't want the melt spots to show, then definitely use like some kind of glue, let it dry, and then come in and cut close. So I'm just going to pretend like it's dry. So I'm going to come in and cut, and like cut. So so that would be this side, and then the other side. I'm just going to cut this off. We're going to pretend. Let me cut this button off. I mean the loop. Oops. We're just going to pretend like I did the other side because I know Pat was going to pop up. Thank you, Pat. I said, oh, she's going to come and tell me that I got 10 minutes, so I thought I better like hurry up. So you do this exact same thing with a ring. And I know I've shown this before, and honestly, I'm still not like really good at it because sometimes I can get it, sometimes I can't, but I'm going to try. So what I do is I put a pin and a clip an inch apart, and you take your 12 inches, 12. This is the magic number because I've done this so many times. Ta-ta. And what you do is you put a moose knot, but normally my moose knots have 3 loops or 4. Rarely do they have 2 or 1, but because this leather is so thick, I'm going to do a double. So you do your usual like offset by 5, have the big one on top, and then you come in here and I'm going to see how there's 2. There's the first one, and then right there, I'm going to stop and then feed this cord through just like this. And it's going to give me basically like a moose knot, but with a smaller profile because, you know, I just don't want it so big. Okay. Rhonda, when I make something that she shows us how to do, I always have it up on my system in case I need to catch something. I know, you know, that's like sometimes, you know, like some of the things I tell you, like sometimes, you know, I know some of you be like, oh girl, that is just like I know that, but believe it or not, it's like new to someone else. You're like, oh, I missed that. And even though I've shown it 1,000 times, because even when I'm learning how to do like, let's say like video editing or something, I'll watch a video like 100 times and then I'll be like, oh, I missed that. I can't believe I missed that. It was just like really important. So now the next part, oh, this is the tough one. Okay, I'm just gonna try, but the idea is to get these cords like around without like bending over themselves. Did I do that? I think I did. Let me try it this way. I think because I did come up with a way to do this. Maybe it's like this. Maybe you just do it backwards. Is that right? I don't know. Because I try everything, you know, oh yeah, I think that was it. Because the thing is, oh, this was it. Now I remember, guys, let me come back. Because you know what, a lot of times when I'm doing this kind of stuff, I do not take notes. It's only like after the fact that I have to come back and do it like 100 times to figure out how I did it. Okay, so I put like this on the left and okay, it's on the right. Okay, so when I come back through, is that right? You know what? The thing is, you don't want these getting like over themselves. I don't even know what the term is. You know what? I'm just gonna like fake it here. Oh, I think I did it. I know that those of you that have done this, like not like where you just want it like laying, like the cords not like flopping over themselves weird. I think I did it. Oh, I did it. So now what you want to do is like come in like kind of like don't tighten it yet. You want to kind of scoot it down just like that and then tighten this side. Oh, yes, Tess, yes. You want it to be flat because I've got so many that, you'd think that by now I'd know the trick. Okay, so there we go. That's perfect. And that's why you need that extra 12 inches, guys, because you need leverage to be able to crank that knot down. What I like to do is like squeeze it a little bit, and then I like to take my razor and just cut it at a nice little angle and check it out. Perfect. So now you have your beautiful and perfect necklace. That, of course, this is the one where I took those extra beads off, but that's the way you do it. So on this part here, like I did a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did 7, but honestly, it's going to depend on like how short you want the shortest one and what distance you want between the longest one. But so that is the end of that. But one thing that happened when I was doing my knotting and I finished everything, I ended up with, too many leftover beads. And, I thought, I did all that work to, do all that knotting. What am I going to do with it? So what I did here was can you see that? I stacked my knots, and I do have a lesson on my website. It's a JTV extra lesson. It's called Stack Your Knots, on how to get your knots like really, really close. You can use this, but I find that it's easier with a knotting awl because I have a variety of different ways of doing knotting. Sometimes it's backward, sometimes it's forward. If I'm spacing, it's with this guy. So you have to use the technique that's best for the job. So this one, I did the stacking knots. And then on this side, I wanted a little bit of bulk in there. So what I did was, remember a few weeks ago, there was a lesson, the before and after, and I think I did it with, it might have been leather. You know what? I don't remember. So I wanted, to be a little bit thicker. I wanted it to be quick. So I didn't want to do macrame. So the before and after, boom, boom, boom. And it actually turned out really, really cute because, and then, to give it like a little bit of extra, like, wow factor, because it was so simple, I made an extra long macrame slide knot. But the interesting thing about this, when you tighten it, of course, it's like an accordion. It's going to see that it gets shorter, but once you have it on, the cool thing about these slide knots is that you can come in and like stretch them out. In case you didn't know that, look at that. I mean, so imagine if you're standing in line at the movies and you have your hair up. Oh, 2 minutes. Thank you, Pat. And or you have short hair and someone's like, they're looking at the back of your necklace and they're like, oh, wow, that's cool. You know how we are, us jewelry people. We always like want every part of our necklace or bracelet to like be cool. Like Laura Lee's little dangles today. But anyway, that is today's lesson. So the big takeaway is like always be vigilant about the spacing and make sure and check to see if you have any JTV, what is it called? A brilliant cache, so that you could buy like any of the items on today's show. Anyway, I think my time it's not quite up. I've got 45 seconds. Let's see, what else can I say in 10 seconds that will be useful. Sealers, email me and I'll tell you what I use and how I use it. And I think that's it, guys. I think next week, that's it. So I'm just going to sit here and keep you company for the next, 10 seconds that I have left. All right. Well, anyway, I think my time is up because someone else has a show after mine. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's show. I'll see you next week. Bye.